In the castle.
You said good morning?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, everybody. We are getting ready to head to the castle. I figured I had just a moment before we take off. Since I won't be doing anything while we're there. I did a fun little short here this morning too, explaining how I curl my bangs. You know, my Velcro curlers. What do you think? Sleep deprivation so far, not so bad. He woke up fairly easily. I have a feeling the random sounds and stuff are going to be more so. And somewhat attention seeking, but you know, if that's the worst we're gonna face, I don't know. He's been pretty good this morning, hasn't he? We woke him up an hour and a half ago, and he pretty much just laid in bed and watched cartoons for quite a while. He drank a Capri Sun. No complaint about any of that just yet. And then he's been standing watching YouTube on my phone. Because he wanted to watch very specifically Bumblebee. So I turned on Rescue Bots. And we've got his favorite blanket packed up in his little fun backpack. And we'll take his diaper bag into it. Feels like we're moving every time we go in there because we take in 2 bags just for him. His diaper bag plus his bag of how we keep him entertained. Because we're never there for less than 2 hours. And today it's going to be several hours. So we've got books and coloring books in his blanket and dinosaurs, and actually I think his Kindle Fire is out in the van still, so we'll grab that and throw it in the bag as well. And right now he's fighting with T-Rex and Bumblebee. So, okay, well guys, my tea is about done steeping, and we need to start moving towards the van so we can get driving. So I'll see you guys again in a moment. Okay guys, this is a bit disjointed. As you can tell if you've watched enough videos, I'm actually at home. The portion of the video that I had recorded next is yet another corrupted file in my memory card, which I need to figure out why that's happening. It was a brand new memory card, like brand new. So I don't know what's going on there. Best Buy's Geek Squad is useless. There's a computer guy that lives near us that we're gonna probably go to and see if he has any thoughts on it and why that's suddenly happening. But anyhow, basically what I had said, guys, was that we had gotten done with everything at the hospital. The day did not go as planned. I was incredibly spent. Just tapped. Like I was even ready just to try and head home that night, but I had to remind myself that we were staying the night for Micah. He was not nauseous or anything, which was the biggest concern, so I was trying to justify to myself, but that sun's coming out. I was trying to justify to myself that we could go ahead and make the drive home because he wasn't nauseous. But ultimately, he was a little loopy still, just a little growly, out of sorts, bouncing all over the place. So it just, and it was, guys, when I say it was a long day, I am not kidding. Things were not scheduled the way we had been told they were scheduled. So ultimately what happened was we got there at 8:15 like we were supposed to. For the EEG that started at 8:30, we were told that we would go from the EEG to the MRI, 2 separate parts of the hospital, blah, blah, blah. And that they do them back to back like that all the time. And they prefer it because it's easier on the kids when they have to be sleep deprived for the EEG, but without food for the MRI if they're being sedated. So EEG got done. He didn't fully cooperate. Really not a fan of that. Did not like having things attached to his head. They wanted him to go to sleep for 10 minutes, which I had told him, like, that was a long shot because he's not a kiddo that goes back to sleep once he wakes up. Sometimes he'll fall asleep in the afternoon for a nap, but that's the closest. Definitely not in the morning yet. So I knew that was going to be a struggle, and he definitely didn't fall asleep. Then fast forward, like, we got done with that by like 9:30, 10 o'clock. They had us hang out in that room for just a little bit. They went ahead and got us moved to literally the room next door, which even they said was kind of silly, but it's because of the types of bed that's in each one, because the next room had the mobile bed that they would use to take him down for the MRI. So we didn't get moved to a different area like I had been told, but then also come to find out the MRI was not even actually scheduled until noon, not 10:30. In fact, they said that the anesthesiologist likes to come and meet with patients an hour and a half before a procedure. I don't know why. I really don't. But so he did. He came up about 10:30, 11 o'clock, and met Micah for a few minutes and said, okay, we'll see you guys at noon. And they did say that they tried to see if they could bump him up at all, but that there were several people from the ER lined up waiting for the MRI. So there's that. So we had to sit with a sleep-deprived, hungry child until noon. And then we got to go with him. They, in the basement of a separate wing of the hospital is where the MRI is at. We went that way. The anesthesiologist was then late. It was 12:15, 12:20 before he got there. And we got to hang out with Micah until he fell asleep, which they used nitrous gas. And it had to have been either really up high or something else, because it took about 30 seconds with the mask on. And they said that kids typically cry, but that's better because then they inhale more. And they weren't wrong. I mean, like I said, it took about 30 seconds for him to pass out. And then they had us go ahead and head out. We could go grab lunch. And we did. We ran to their cafeteria, took it back to his room where we sat and waited and waited and waited. They told us 45 minutes. It was a little longer than that before they brought him back to the room. And when they brought him back, he was passed out asleep. And they said some kids, nap for a few minutes. And after like an hour and a half, finally the nurse was like, we'll get his food in here finally, because I guess they had an issue with ordering that as well. And she's like, and then you guys can start, kissing on him and start waking him up. So we did. We pretty much had to wake him up because he was, of course, he wanted to sleep then. And yeah, he was definitely out of sorts. We got him to eat and everything. It was 4 o'clock before we were leaving the hospital. We were sitting in the parking lot at 4 o'clock, getting ready to pull out. Definitely not the day we had anticipated or been told to expect. We were both very tired and hungry because, we had to stay up with Micah. It didn't work in shifts. We didn't get a suite with 2 separate rooms. We just had a room with 2 queens that you guys probably noticed. And we didn't want to eat anything in front of Micah either. So Shawn had managed to slip away and eat a couple crackers at one point, but I hadn't. So we were both extremely hungry though, as well. And yeah, it was a really long day. By the time it was all said and done, I was tapped. I was burned out, and that's where that's at. So that's pretty much what I had said. Shawn had ran to friends, which I'll explain here. I'll jump back to the video I did while we were still out there. He had ran for some stuff, and I did that little clip while he was there. And so now let's get back to the video I recorded at that point. Next day, guys. Yesterday just kind of ended. We had all of these grand plans that I was kind of hopeful for. I was really spent yesterday, and I'm sure when I go back and edit this, I'm going to cringe just a little even, because I know how bad it was yesterday. But by the time Shawn got back from running to pick up something from friends out here, it was getting pretty late. We ran into Sioux Falls and we ate dinner at Red Robin, which I've always loved. It wasn't bad, but it was very lackluster last night, and it was kind of sad actually. So we had that, popped into Hy-Vee really quick and grabbed just a couple things from there so we don't have to do it here this morning. But we are going to take off in a few minutes. I've got little mister. Hey, I see you. The camera sees you. Everybody watching sees you. Are you gonna eat your muffin?
Yeah.
We're struggling to get him to eat breakfast this morning, and I don't know if this is still lingering effects from yesterday or if this is just, we've been gone for 2 days and his world's just kind of off. I'm not really sure because he's always been big on breakfast. So with that, that's pretty much our plan. We're gonna get him to finish eating the muffin we got downstairs from the breakfast bar. And Shawn is actually loading everything right now as we speak. We're gonna go into Sioux Falls, be there as soon as Costco opens. And you guys can watch for that haul because there will be one. And since we're doing it right now, I'll be able to get everything in a haul. We talked about doing it last night and just throwing a ton of ice in the coolers and whatnot if we got anything cold, so we could take off really early this morning. And we actually thought that sounded like a really good idea, but he didn't expect to end up talking with friends for so long and for everything else to take so long last night. So it just didn't happen, but that's okay, because I think we just needed a really good night's sleep, and because it was a very long day yesterday. And I am anxiously awaiting results from the EEG, and we've already been given a baseline for the MRI, but I will wait when they call me here in another week or two to go over everything to confirm that. So before I share anything, I just want to confirm what is and is not. And yeah, what they did tell me with the MRI, guys, I'll share this a little bit, is that if there was anything major they had seen, we would already know it. So that's really encouraging. It means that if there is anything that they were to find, it would be very small or very minor. So there's that. What are you doing? What you doing? So anyhow, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get him to finish eating so that way we can get moving and get all this stuff done. Shawn should be back up in just a minute. Guys, I hope that you're having a blessed day. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss everything else coming up next. And I'll see you in the next one. I hear Daddy.
Bye.
Bye. Bye-bye.
He's getting used to saying bye when he hears me ending a video.
Bye.
You say bye too? I know you said it to him.
Bye. Bye.
You guys are going to get a whole slew of byes now. But we'll see you guys in the next one.